Welcome, SENS Talk.
Russell winds in, feeds it back across the strike, and scores! Brady Katchouk makes it 2-0. Claude Giroux, hit along, scores!
Tim Stutzel across, Katchouk score! The captain, Brady Katchouk, buries it with 1:18 to go.
See you later. Go, SENS, go. Welcome to SENS Talk. My name is Brandon Plant, and I'm your host. Tonight, Ottawa took on the Pittsburgh Penguins as Sid the Kid, Sidney Crosby, comes to town. Whenever Sidney Crosby's in town, for obvious reasons, it's a big deal. Sold out barn tonight at the Canadian Tire Center. Obviously not a shock, as Sid the Kid is the best player of our generation. And he's not going to get any younger. So there's only a select amount of times that Crosby will be playing in Ottawa. So it's always special when the Penguins are in town. On top of the fact, for an odd reason, the Pittsburgh Penguins have a lot of Ottawa connections. Obviously, Erik Karlsson, Jason Spezza, Kyle Dubas. It's insane. So always a fun game between these two teams. The last time these two teams faced off against one another this season, it went to overtime where Tim Stützle would end it in overtime. Let's see if something similar happens today. I'm just going to put that out there. But, yeah, so a fun game always against the Penguins. And Ottawa has to keep an eye on Sid the Kid, obviously. He has 57 points, 19 goals in 48 games against the Ottawa Senators in his entire career. He also has 8 points in his last 9 games, but no goals. So he's really dishing the puck as of late, but hopefully he stops that tonight. Now, speaking of tonight, for Ottawa's lineup tonight, Parker Kelly would still be out. He's serving the second game of that 2-game suspension to, Andreas Englund when he headshotted him on Thursday night against the Kings. Rourke Chartier is also injured, so he did not play tonight. So guess what? There's a call-up. It's Zack Ostapchuk getting the call-up for his first ever career National Hockey League game. Congratulations to Zack Ostapchuk. And what an incredible story this is. And, it's a heartwarming story, but it's a story where, it's perseverance, it's love, it's strength, it's unbelievable what the Ostapchuk family has gone through. Ostapchuk, when he was a young kid, lost his father. His mother, Charlene, raised him as a sole parent, a lone parent, an only mother. And to see him get to the National Hockey League is obviously such an incredible moment for Zach. But for Charlene, you could just see it on the broadcast. She was crying. I'm not going to lie, I might have shed a tear or two. She was crying when she was on the TV with Claire Hanna. It was just a beautiful moment, and that's what sports is about, the human side of things. And to see the adversity the Ostapchuk family has faced and the way they've overcome it, it's such a beautiful thing. So congratulations to the Ostapchuk family. And Zack Ostapchuk, we'll talk about him in this game. He had a fantastic game, especially for a first career NHL game going against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Multiple Hall of Famers on that roster. So, once again, congratulations to Zack Ostapchuk, who fills in for Rourke Chartier, who remains out with that injury. Travis Hamonic is still out as well. He's in a non-contact jersey, so he is skating, though. Hopefully, we'll be back soon. Now, last thing I'll mention before we really dive into the game is the Danger Flutes are back. Thank goodness. Thank the heavens. I don't know who listens to SENS management. I don't know if they listen to me or the fans, or they just decided common sense should prevail. But the Danger Flutes are back. They dropped them as the puck drop happened to start the game. So, I understand if they want to change the intro and the theme and whatnot, but to just incorporate it some way back into the game experience is huge. It's a little thing, but the little things matter, and that was great. So I'm really happy to see that. Now, Ottawa going to this game has lost 7 straight games. They've only gone in 1 point in that stretch, of course, an overtime loss to the Kings the other day, while the Pittsburgh Penguins have lost 6 out of their last 11 games and 6 out of their last 7. So they're on a big losing streak as well. They're currently 8 points out of a playoff spot. The Penguins desperately need the 2 points. Now let's get into the game. To the first period we go, and it's a pretty even game. The Pittsburgh Penguins probably have the edge after the first period of play. It's tied at 0-0, but both teams are playing very strong, very well. But most notably, Jari and Joonas Korpisalo, both goaltenders who have struggled mightily this year, actually played pretty well through the first 20 and 40 after 40 minutes of play. It also remained 0-0. Korpisalo, some big stops, but Tristan Jari especially, he was unbelievable. As we go to the third period of play, and as both goaltenders are standing on their head, eventually somebody's going to have to score. And it's Ottawa who scores first, only 4 minutes into the third period of play. Oh, wait, so we think. Claude Giroux appears to score the go-ahead goal, give Ottawa the opening goal of the game. A slap shot goal beats Jari, low blocker side cleanly, But apparently, I don't know about this. I'll be honest with you, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about this. Apparently, Matthew Joseph interfered with Tristan Jarry, so the goal was called back for goaltender interference, which, frankly, is bogus. Nonsense call. Nonsense call. If he bumped into him, controversial, I get it. He didn't even touch the goalie, all right? Like, his stick maybe made a little bit of contact with Jarry's helmet. We've seen far more egregious goals go in. That goal had no business of not getting counted, so that is a ridiculous call. Luckily, I'll just say this, didn't really matter at the end of the day, but, you know, still, you want to see the calls go in a consistent manner, and with goalie interference especially, there's no consistency, and it's very frustrating as a hockey fan. But 7 minutes later, Ottawa, guess what? Puck don't lie. 11 minutes in, 9 minutes to go. Matthew Joseph, after a rough pass from Tim Stützle, gets the puck off the boards, hesitates, lets Sanderson chip it to the slot, and he puts it home! The Snake, Jake Sanderson, his 8th of the year, makes it 1-0 Ottawa. Puck don't lie. As Sanderson drives into the slot, all alone, bar down. What a goal. The crowd goes crazy as Ottawa, with less than 10 minutes to go, are up by a goal. Jake Sanderson with his 8th of the year and first in his last 17 games. By the way, Matthew Joseph on the goal, of course, got that primary assist. Obviously, he passed it to Sanderson, the scorer, so he got an assist. And that assist is point number 31 on the year, a career high. So congratulations to Matty Joe, who had his father and mother in the crowd. So that probably feels good for Joseph and his family. Wow, it's just the night of families, I guess. Hey, my goodness, I just realized that. But yeah, great moment there for Joseph, who's had a fantastic year. I can see him finishing, frankly, there's about 19 games left. I think he finishes with roughly 40, 42 points. We'll see. You can screen record that and come at me in the future if it's not true, or especially if it's true. But I have a feeling Joseph is going to keep up a very good pace to finish off the year. But we continue on in the third period of play, and Pittsburgh's starting the push. They're starting the push. They need a win. Like I already mentioned, they're barely staying alive in the playoff race. Gordon Miller and Jamie McLennan today on the broadcast were mentioning how if the Penguins want to really, get back into the playoff race and frankly make the playoffs at the end of the day, they got to win their next 15 and 19. That is well, that's a tough ask. That is a tough ask. So they are playing hard. They want to get a win against a team like Ottawa that, frankly, the Penguins should beat. I'm not saying both teams aren't equally as good. I think, frankly, both teams have a good amount of skill each, as we saw today, obviously. Very tight game. But the Penguins need this win. So they're pushing. They finally empty the net with a minute left. And, of course, the Penguins strike. Whenever these two teams face off with one another, for some reason, some chaos happens. Obviously, that no-goal call was some chaos, and this goal here for the Penguins is some chaos as well. Michael Bunting gets his first goal as a Pittsburgh Penguin in a huge moment to at least get the point for the Pittsburgh Penguins. 20 seconds left. You're going to force overtime with that. The Penguins are going to force it to overtime with a Bunting goal. A really, really tough one there off a broken shot, a broken play, frankly, from Malkin at the top of the point. He broke his stick. The puck kind of just slid right over to Bunting. Korpisalo tried to do his best, frankly, in tight. It was just a bit of chaos there, and the Penguins would strike the tide at 1. So we go to overtime, and, I was tweeting about this. For the Ottawa Senators, they are not going to make the playoffs. They got to literally win every single game and make the playoffs, essentially. Even if they win every game, they're at 94, 95 points. I don't know if that's going to make the playoffs in the East this year. So, frankly, obviously, they're out of it. So, if you're going to go to overtime and get that extra point, you better get that second point. Because if you're going to ruin your draft lottery odds, you might as well do it with a win so we can actually celebrate instead of an overtime loss, which just sucks. So, anyways, enough rambling. Let's go to overtime. And it's back and forth. I'm not going to lie. This was an incredible, incredible game. It's back and forth action. Back and forth, back and forth. And then with about a couple minutes left in the overtime period, we see Zack Ostapchuk get an overtime shift. And he makes great use of it. He steals the puck, intercepts it from Sidney Crosby, sends the puck the other way. Here comes the Ottawa Senators. Drake Batherson, Tim Stützle. Speaking of Stützle, Stützle waits, passes it over. Batherson puts it home. GWG, let's go home. Ottawa wins 2-1 in overtime. The Drake Batherson gives Ottawa the massive win, to break the losing streak, and to win it in overtime. 2-1 OT GWG from Drake Batherson on his 23rd goal of the year. A Stützle pass, but most importantly, an Ostapchuk interception as Charlene goes crazy in the crowd. The Senators win 2-1 over the Pittsburgh Penguins, and they sweep the season series over the Penguins for the first time in 18 years. Yeah, the Penguins are really going downhill when you know the Ottawa Senators are beating them and beating them consistently. If you look at the Ottawa Senator franchise history against the Penguins, they don't often beat them, I'll be quite honest with you. So it's always great to see a win, even at this point of the year. For beating the Penguins, I love to see it. So a huge win tonight for the Ottawa Senators, just for the vibes. Now let's take a look at the stats. Obviously, Korpisalo played unbelievable tonight. I want to give a tip to the cap to Yari. He faced quite a bit of shots, 39 shots against, 37 saves, 949 save percentage. It was very, very good. Got to give kudos to him. He made some really unbelievable stops. And Korpisalo as well was fantastic, making some huge stops. Faced 35 shots, obviously stopped 34 of them for a 971 save percentage. He was 20 seconds away from his first shutout as an Ottawa Senator. Oh, I wish he got that shutout. It would have been his 4th in the National Hockey League as well. Really, really tough there, you know, for Bunting to get that goal in the last 20-25 seconds. Luckily, though, we get the win, and I frankly think that's all he cares about. Now, Ostapchuk played fantastic. 2 shots on goal, threw the body around a little bit, obviously created that play to get that OTGWG by Drake Batherson. He played just under 13 minutes at 12:44. I was very impressed with his game, especially as a rookie. He's using his body very, very well, and I didn't see him lose any board battles. So you don't expect much for a guy in the 3rd or 4th line in his first NHL game, but I think he exceeded expectations by quite a bit. Brandstrom as well tonight, just under 22 minutes, 5 shots on goal, had some power play time, another block. Brandstrom, no one talks about this. Brandstrom always gets blocks. Another one tonight. He got some power play time, like I just mentioned. I thought he had a great game. Stützle as well had a great game. A couple breakaways. He got an assist, of course, on the OTGWG, just under 24 minutes. But yeah, overall for Ottawa, I just want to mention this as well. Their 4th line, the Katchouk, you know, Mark Kastelik, and Yuri Smejkal was fantastic tonight. I mean, Yuri Smejkal alone had a couple of great drives to the net. One of them of which was caused because he had a beautiful toe drag move. Just couldn't lift the puck past Yari's left pad. But, you know, Smejkal alone tonight had a couple of nice looks. You know, he had 2 shots on goal officially, but he also had 2 blocks. He had a hit as well in just under 10 minutes of ice time. Just looking at his stat line here. I think he had a great game. But overall for that 4th line, Katchouk as well had a very, very good game. You know, he had 6 hits, really throwing around the body, really trying to prove something for the Ottawa Senators. And Mark Kastelik, 7 penalty minutes, got into a fight there. Not really much of a fight. Basically got thrown down, but he was defending Yuri Smejkal after a bit of a rough hit. I think it was a clean hit. I didn't really know if Kastelik had to answer the bell to that, but regardless, I do like to see a teammate defending another teammate, so I respect him for that. I also think he played very well tonight on that 4th line, who really stood out. Once again, that 4th line really stood out. They were driving for some offense. They were caving in the other team quite often. The other team had to cave in against them. They were really dominating the other team whenever on the ice. And frankly, for Ottawa and their 4th line, we have not seen that much this year. So that was a nice little steady change of pace. And it's not shocking when you inject 2 guys into the lineup like Yuri Smejkal and Katchouk, 2 guys that are frankly fighting for their National Hockey League lives. It makes sense they're going to play like their lives are on the line. So yeah, besides that, huge win for Ottawa. And we're going to leave it off with this, the Tankathon. As you guys know, we always do this. Now that the Ottawa Senators are, I mean, we're basically on elimination watch at this point. So I'm going to pull up tankathon.com. By the way, shout out to that, you know, that website. It's obviously the GOAT of, you know, teams that are deep out of the playoffs for their fan bases. This is what gives us a little bit of hope. I'll just start the screen recording now. There you go. And yeah, let's kick it off. So here we go. Is Ottawa, you know what? Are they going to get the 1st overall pick? Last video, we dropped 2 spots and 1 spot twice. So let's see what happens. Here we go. First draw. 2nd. Hey, we'll take it. We'll take it. Number 2. But ironically, the Pittsburgh Penguins at number 1. All right. That's, I don't know. That's pretty on the nose, I'll be honest with you. All right. Lottery sim number 2. Back down to reality. Number 6. All right. 3rd spin. All right, there we go, baby. There we go. Number 2, twice. We'll leave it off there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for watching. I appreciate your support, as always. Let me know what you guys think about this game and everything in the comment section down below, as always. I'll see you all soon. Go Sens, go.